In the last video, I showed you how manipulation has become more sophisticated and harder to spot. The old school techniques I grew up around and that sort of stuff. Here's what I want you to understand now. It works for a while, but it has a biological expiration date. And when that date arrives, the cost is very real, both for the person who is moved without realizing it and for the person who did the moving. When someone eventually realizes they were emotionally steered toward a decision rather than helped towards one, it doesn't just feel like disappointment. It feels like a specific kind of betrayal that lives in the body. Remember the 5 programs we've been talking about: survival, tribal belonging, hierarchy, scarcity, and legacy? When the manipulation is used effectively, it often activates tribal belonging and legacy in particular. It makes someone feel like they're part of something, like they're stepping into a version of themselves they've wanted to become, like they finally found the answer. And when they later realize that belonging was manufactured, that vision was being used to open their wallet, something shifts in the nervous system. That same tribal belonging program that was activated to make them feel part of something now registers that belonging as false. It feels like rejection, like they were tricked into trusting someone that wasn't real. That scarcity program that was triggered to make them act fast now recalculates the real cost, not just the money, but the trust they gave away. They didn't just leave quietly. A lot of them warned other people. That's the part most people doing the manipulation don't fully account for. Word of mouth works in both directions. And once someone feels manipulated, they don't just stop buying from you. They tell other people what it felt like. Here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. When you constantly use these programs against people instead of with them, something happens over time. You start to develop a reputation, even if it's never said out loud in the room. People begin to sense that something is off. They may not be able to name it. They may just still buy in that moment because the emotional trigger is strong, but later, when the feeling wears off, they feel it. And that feeling travels. I've watched this happen in rooms for decades. The person who could close anyone in the moment, but over time, fewer and fewer people wanted to be in the room with them. The short-term wins kept coming, but the long-term trust eroded, sometimes quietly, sometimes all at once. Manipulation works until it doesn't. And when it stops working, it usually takes the relationship with it. So if triggering these programs against people eventually backfires, both biologically and relationally, then what's the alternative? In the next video, I want to show you what it actually looks like to be in the room with someone and not triggering their programs. What it looks like to create safety instead of urgency. To help someone make a real decision instead of manufacturing one. It's quieter. It doesn't feel as exciting in the moment, but it compounds over time in ways that manipulation never can. If this series is resonating with you, if you're recognizing moments where you've been on either side of this, stay with me for part 4.